Welcome to MTG Friends. I'm Ryan, and this is day 8 of Commander Legends spoilers. Let's jump right in. We got some new ones and we got some reprints. So let's start with Ooze Lord. It's a 4-drop 0/0. Oozes you control get +1/+1. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a commander, create a token that's a copy of Ooze Lord. So it's kind of got that Scoot Swarm mechanics, but without the landfall. But it comes in at minimum as a 1/1, and all your other oozes get +1/+1. I could see some interesting tribal stuff if there's enough oozes out there. Oozes tend to really have some fun +1/+1 mechanics, janky stuff going on. So I could definitely see something getting built out of this card. Alright, Rakshasa Debaser. It's a 4 black 6/6 creature cat demon. Whenever Rakshasa Debaser attacks, put target creature card from defending player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. So it's a reanimate, but in the form of a cat demon? Oh, I like it. And it's a 6-drop, so not bad. Plus it has the added benefit of Encore 6 black, which means you can do it again. I will seriously consider putting this into some of the reanimation decks that I've built. I like this card. Reshape the Earth. I did a double glance on this one when I read it. For 6 green, you search your library for up to 10 land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. This thing is very cool, even though it's super expensive to cast. Can you imagine having Morog out on the playfield, having it trigger 10 times because of this card? Wow. You got landfall mechanics happening with this. Plus, the base minimum thing that it does is it removes 10 lands out of your deck so that you're going to be more likely to get other spells that you need instead of a land card, because you're going to have all the land you need once you cast this thing. Very cool. I'm very interested to see how this thing can be levered in decks. Alright, Emoti Celebrant of Bounty, 3 green, 3/1 legendary creature, Nega Druid, or is it Naga? Put in the comments which one it is. Cascade. And in case you're not familiar with Cascade, when you cast a spell, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card that costs less. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. Put the exiled cards on the bottom of your library in a random order. Even though this is an uncommon card, I felt it was definitely worth talking about, especially with the spells you cast with converted mana costs 6 or greater have Cascade. So not only does it give Cascade, it has Cascade. That is incredible. And I don't even mind spending 5 mana to get this onto the board. I like this. I like it a lot. Alright. Necrotic Hex. This card I had to do a double take too. So it is 7 mana, but each player sacrifices 6 creatures. You create 6 tapped 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. What an interesting board clear this thing is. So for 6, you basically wipe the board and then you get black zombie creature tokens for it. Wow, that is really cool. Very cool. Each player sacrifices 6 creatures. Oh, that's awesome. I like it. I like it a lot. Nightshade Harvester. It's a 4-drop. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, that player loses 1 life. Put a 1/1 counter on Nightshade Harvester. So, wow. It only affects the opponents. So when an opponent plays a land, this thing buffs. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and they lose 1 life. I could see a lot of ways to lever this card and play it, especially if you're playing against 3 other opponents, which you most likely will be if you're running this in Commander. I like this card, and I really like the artwork. The artwork, I think, is my favorite part of this. Flamekin Herald for 3. Commander spells you cast have Cascade. More Cascade coming up. And it's a 3/2 elemental wizard. So I could definitely see this having a place in red decks. It's placed well in terms of mana cost and its body, and the fact that it gives all of your spells Cascade is a super exciting card, and in red. Alright, let's see if I can say this right. I usually mess this up. Nevenreal Urborg Tyrant. It's got a lot of colors in it. It's a 3 white, blue, black, 3/6 legendary creature zombie wizard. Hexproof from artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. Woo! Scratch my head on that one. That's pretty interesting. When Nevenreal Urborg Tyrant enters the battlefield, create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token for each creature that died this turn. When Nevenreal dies, you may pay 1. When you do, destroy all artifact, creatures, and enchantments. Wow, that thing is doing a lot of stuff. And it's throwback to a reprint that we'll talk about here in a moment. All right. Elvish Dreadlord. It's a 3 black 3/3 zombie elf. It's got Death Touch. When Elvish Dreadlord dies, non-elf creatures get -3/-3 until end of turn. And it's got Encore for 5 black. I like it. So you get to play this more than once. Super, super cool. All right. Tekik Salvage Splicer. 4 green 1/1 legendary creature human artifact. Another uncommon that was worth mentioning. When Tekik Salvage Splicer enters the battlefield, create a 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature token. When an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on Tekik and a 1/1 counter on each golem you control. Ooh, possible golem tribal with this card. I like it. And it's a partner, so you can do all sorts of things with this. Partner it up and get multiple colors in there. Golem tribal. Interesting idea. And now for the reprints. We've got a reprint of Command Beacon. Add colorless, or you can sack Command Beacon, put your commander into your hand from the command zone. Another reprint. Really cool to see this one being reprinted. Kara Mitra, God of Harvest. It's a 3 green white 6/7 indestructible. As long as your devotion to green and white is less than 7, Kara Mitra isn't a creature because it's a god. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may search your library for a forest or plains card, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. It's good to see this card again. Very cool green white god. All right, and finally, the throwback that we were talking about, Nevenreal's Disc for 4. Nevenreal's Disc enters the battlefield tapped for 1 tap. Destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments, which is why this card really jumped out at me and made me go, oh, yes, that's why it's called this, and that's why it's in these colors. Very cool. All right, so that wraps it up for today's spoilers. Hit the like button, hit subscribe if you're new, and hit that alert button so you know whenever a new episode is happening, which happens very frequently throughout the week and every week. All right, thanks for being a friend of the gathering. Check it out at the next episode.